Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? Vergil Ortiz Jr. with a beautiful, beautiful performance versus Aegis Kavalauskas, aka Mean Machine. He was successful, got the victory, stopped him in round 8 in a very, very competitive, rough and tough, back and forth matchup. The fight took place in Frisco at the Dallas Cowboys Star facility. Beautiful facility, and it seemed like it was a nice turnout out there. I didn't go to the fight, but looked like people came out, man, and they had a good time. And that was a really, really good fight, man. A very, very good fight. And I think it revealed a lot of things that you want to see in a young up-and-coming fighter, future world champion like Vergil Ortiz. Vergil Ortiz, he was hurt in this fight, got hurt in the 3rd round. He did go down, but it was more so due to the momentum of him missing a punch. Missed a wide punch, and that really threw him to the ground, but he was hurt. So I think that definitely did have an effect or help cause him go to the ground, but it wasn't a knockdown. I agree with the ref's call because a punch didn't actually cause that fall. You know, but he was hurt, and then he ended up hurting Mean Machine at the end of that round as well. The 3rd round was beautiful. It was a beautiful display of aggressive, technical, inside fighting, mid-range fighting. I mean, those guys really showed so much skill in that ring, in that fight last night. It was just a beautiful display of just elite technical aggression, and I loved it. A few takeaways. Number one, Mean Machine is a really solid competitor and somebody who you would love to get a young fighter in the ring with to really see where he is, because Mean Machine gonna push you. You know, he does kind of break down later on in the fights, like he did versus Terrence Crawford, like Vergil Ortiz ultimately broke him down in the 8th, I believe. Crawford stopped him in the 9th, and he hurt Crawford and dropped Crawford where that knockdown wasn't actually called. Now that really was the knockdown versus Terrence Crawford. So he hurt Crawford and he hurt Vergil Ortiz. So number one, you see that Mean Machine got real respectable power. He's a pretty solid counterpuncher, and he got pretty decent timing, because both of those shots the shot that he hurt Crawford with was a timed overhand right. It was like a sneaky overhand right where he timed Crawford, perfectly. And with Vergil Ortiz, it was a right hand, but it was actually an uppercut. But they were both off of timing, just beautiful timing, catching guys either while they're punching, or just really getting them in a certain position that give him that access to throw that punch. Versus Vergil Ortiz, Ortiz keep his guard up like real high like this. And I mean, he was just asking to get hit with an uppercut, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened, and he got hurt. But Vergil Ortiz showed the grit, the mental fortitude, the physical strength, the wherewithal to stick to the game plan. I love how Vergil Ortiz went back to the jab. When shit started to get rough for him, what did he do? He didn't panic. He didn't, veer off from the game plan. He went back to the strategy. Use the jab. Be patient. Walk this man down. Vergil Ortiz's jab is a thing of beauty, and you can see the progress and the growth of that jab, because early on I felt like he had a decent jab, and of course we know he got the ability and the capability to throw a great jab, because he has great speed and great power, velocity. Really good accuracy and punch placement. So he got all the tools to do it, but I felt like in previous fights he wasn't really committing to the jab as much as he should. And in this fight, I told y'all, man, when you got a great jab, it sets up everything, bro. Like, I feel like every great fighter, you're going to have a hell of a jab. You're going to have some type of respectable jab to set shit up. You know what I'm saying? And Vergil Ortiz really put the jab on display last night. I loved how he was not just throwing the jab, but he was throwing it with conviction, with bad intentions behind it. You know, so even if he just touch you with that bitch, you gonna feel it and you gonna know he there. And you gonna have to be mindful of that jab, which is gonna leave other shit open. You know what I'm saying? Because now you looking for that jab, he can come over with the straight right or the overhand right. You know, or he can, you know, fake the jab and then come back, you know, come behind that bitch with a left hook. You know, so Vergil Ortiz showed me a lot. He showed me the grit. He showed me that he can bite down when shit get tough and, you know, get his man up out of there. And also, like, you know, when he did get hurt, he was smart. He didn't just continue to, like, throw wild punches and act crazy. He grabbed a hold of Mean Machine's arm. He locked his ass up and he recovered. And he recovered fairly quickly. I love that. I loved everything that I seen from Vergil Ortiz. He was tested. You know, he showed growth. He showed his display of skills and boxing ability. He showed the talent, the athleticism. I'm excited to see Vergil Ortiz get in there with the elite guys at welterweight now. I think he's due for a title shot. I've been an advocate of saying these young guys need to fight each other right now, like Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis. But it seems like they trying to build that shit up and, you know, they trying to go out the more established guys first, which, you know, I got mixed feelings about that. But if they not going to fight right now, let's get Vergil Ortiz in there with Terrence Crawford as soon as possible. Or Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying? Or Sean Porter, he in the WBO. You know, let's get these guys in there with these elite top welterweights as soon as possible because they ready. And Vergil Ortiz, this man is going to be a future, he's going to be a world champion and he's going to be a great champion. And once he does get that title, he's going to be hard to beat. He's going to be hard to beat because I'm going to tell y'all, Vergil Ortiz is another one of those guys, just like how I say with Earl Spence, he going to be another one of those guys that you going to have to hurt him to beat him. You might have to stop Vergil Ortiz to beat him because he's going to keep coming. He's going to throw a lot of punches. And now that he got that jab popping like that, he gonna be tough to beat. You're gonna have to hurt Vergil Ortiz. It's gonna be hard for you to win a decision on it because that jab is gonna be coming with speed, power, and it's gonna be steadfast. He ain't gonna let up on it. He going to the body, he going to the head. He hurt Mean Machine to the body a couple of times. You know, so he gonna win a lot of rounds and do a lot of damage with his work rate and his overall boxing ability. So for you to win a decision on him, I mean, you got to be a hell of a boxer. You got to be an elite motherfucker. I'm talking about like next level type shit. And you got to be able to withstand the damage that he going to inflict on you. You know what I'm saying? So your best bet, you going to have to hurt Vergil Ortiz. And that might not even be enough. Just hurt him because you see he didn't get discouraged. He kept coming forward and he kept... You know, he stayed with the game plan and he went out there and he got the job done. You might just have to stop Vergil Ortiz in order to beat him. This guy tough, man. This guy tough and he gonna be hard to beat. So I'm excited to see what's next for Vergil Ortiz. I'm really ready to see him get in there with the best guys. Now I think he ready. I mean, that fight showed everything that I needed to see. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How did y'all feel about Vergil Ortiz's performance? And what do you think is next for him? Is he ready for the Terrence Crawfords, the Earl Spence Jr.'s? Should they make the Jaron Booth in his fight immediately? You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.